everyone, and welcome back to my channel for video number 5 in this 7-part series about writing and National Novel Writing Month. Today I'm actually getting into tips and tricks about how to succeed, I guess. So, my first tip, and it's probably the most important one and the most redundant one, but it's decide to write. Decide to do National Novel Writing Month, but decide early, because if you waffle on it, you can lose valuable time writing. I mean, you have to put out 1,667 words a day, so if you start late, that just increases. So to go along with that, start early and start strong. If you can stay above your daily rate, you can slack off later in the month, and it makes me less stressful, at least, if I am above my curve. Also, look at your schedule for the month before you start and determine if you have any conflicts that will prevent you from writing on certain days, and adjust your daily goal accordingly. Makes sense, right? Plan or don't. I have done National Novel Writing Month 3 times with various levels of planning or lack thereof, and I've been successful. Just know that if you don't plan, you might end up with some really weird scenes. But if you don't want to like plan the whole thing, a trick that I found that's worked is just kind of plan a couple points that you want to hit and write to them. So like A, B, C, and Z. National Novel Writing Month is known for quantity, at least in my case, and not particularly good quality. So accept that it's not going to be perfect. Just get it all down, start writing, and go. And it should be fine. And if you get stuck, don't dwell on it. There's so many times where I'm sitting there just wasting valuable minutes when I have a word count to hit, going, does this work? Maybe I should do this. If you can't get it, if you're stuck for more than 20 minutes, just make a note and move on. Like, I can't tell you how many times in my Word documents, even when I'm not doing National Novel Writing Month, where I'll come across like a couple lines just in all caps. It's like, blah, blah, blah. Why are you still doing this? Just move on. You're not gonna get this right now. So it's perfectly acceptable to cut your losses and move on and go back to that later, either during the month or afterwards when you're revising your story. Find the right environment for you to write in, and whatever works for you. It could be at a desk, it could be at a coffee shop, it could be in your bed. Just find what works for you and where you'll be comfortable writing for lengthy periods of time. Because, like, I don't know, you're probably gonna be looking to put at least 50 hours into this endeavor, 1,000 words an hour. Depending, I don't know, depends how fast you write, but still, you're gonna be putting a lot of time into National Novel Writing Month, and if you don't enjoy where you're writing, it's not going to be any easier. And to kind of add on to that, wear comfortable clothes. For me, I wear a lot of sweatpants and pajamas, and I like cardigans because I like being able to layer on and layer off quickly if I get too hot or too cold. And it just makes it so much easier. Why sit around in jeans when you're gonna be writing for a couple hours when you can be sitting around in pajamas or a onesie? Hydrate. Water is always a great thing, because if you're sitting for a long time, your body's gonna start to cramp up and get annoyed. So water is fantastic. And also, you'll probably have to pee more, which is great because it'll give you an excuse to stand up but then get right back to working. Food is great. On top of hydrating, you need to eat food, because if you're not eating, your brain will start to function poorly, and then it's just all downhill from there. So make sure you eat. You might not be able to eat regularly. I find when I'm really into writing, I forget about meals, but snacking is a good alternative. So I like to usually have like some crackers or some chips or something beside me that I can easily pick up and stuff in my face while I'm writing. But hey, if you can find someone to feed you, that is the best option. I haven't managed it yet, but imagine like someone just bringing you like a grilled cheese or some soup while you're writing, and you don't have to put any effort in. That's a win. Reward yourself. That's It's one of the tips that I've probably had the least luck with. It's because I'm terrible at not giving myself things I want. So I'll be like, if I write X amount of words, I'm going to reward myself with Y. And then I'm like, why do I need to write those words? I'll just go get that now. So it can work though. So you can either reward yourself intermittently, like every 10,000 words or something, or you can just give yourself a big reward at the end. It doesn't even have to be anything big. It can be, I'm gonna go see that movie I want to see, but I haven't been able to watch it because I've been writing a novel. It's only probably worked one time for me, the reward system, where I bought something and I did not touch it until after I finished writing my book, and it was the 3DS. It really encouraged me to finish the book. Another thing that's going to be key to writing success is limiting your distractions, like the internet. Just a terrible and wonderful thing. People, etc. I find that the best way for me to limit distractions is to be either in my room by myself or just alone in the house when nobody else is around and I write then. I also listen to music because I find that it keeps me focused. I know a lot of people can't listen to music, or they want to listen to music but get distracted by the music. And my advice for that is, if you do want to listen to music but you're afraid you'll get distracted, just listen to the same song on repeat for like hours. It sounds stupid, but you listen to it and you get really used to it. So there's no like tempo change or anything. You're not getting distracted by it. And then if you pause, take a minute, you can be like, man, this is a great song, and just kind of keep going. I employed this method when I was writing essays and stuff too. And What Were Perfect by Headley, I think, was one of the ones I listened to a lot, and Disturbia by Rihanna. And I would just hours of listening to the same song. I still like both those songs, so it did not destroy them for me. Next probably is writing everywhere. That's key. You're trying to write 50,000 words in 30 days. Chances are you won't always be able to be in your little bubble space, which would be great, but it might not happen. So have a notebook or your phone or a tablet or something that you can write down scenes or even ideas or plot points or notes or whatever, and then when you get back to your computer, it'll go a lot faster because you'll have an idea and you didn't waste, say, that 30-minute bus ride you had, or waiting in line, or waiting at a doctor's office, or whatever. It's something that has really helped me with word output. I remember like standing in line up during like the 2010 Olympics with my notebook, just writing away so I could be productive while I'm standing in this like hour-and-a-half long line. So writing everywhere, or planning, or something, getting it down on paper or phone, is gonna be super helpful to your success. On top of that, there's also, I don't want to say sponsored things, but there's stuff online where you can meet up with other people doing the same thing to write. That sounded very convoluted, but there's this thing called word sprints, which are often scheduled online. I think I usually see them on Twitter, where someone will say, hey, I'm gonna do a word sprint in 30 minutes, who wants to join me? And then it'll be, the goal is to write for 15 minutes straight without stopping, or 20 minutes straight without stopping. So you can do that, or you can make your own. You can say, you know what, today I'm going to have 6 word sprints of 20 minutes each. Those are helpful things. I find that they haven't really worked for me, but could work for you. I just find it very distracting. I'm just gonna write. Who cares about sprinting? It's just a full-on run the entire time when I'm writing. Next, there are sometimes local write-ins. I think you can usually find them on the NaNoWriMo page. I went to one once. Basically, it's a group of people who decide to get together and go to a certain place, usually a coffee shop, and you sit there for 1 or 2 hours and you all collectively work on your stories alone. Yeah, so my experience when I went is I got there early because I'm that person who needs to get there early, and I got myself a little table, and then everybody showed up and everybody knew each other, and so I just stayed at like my little table by myself with my hot chocolate, and I wrote, and then I left because for me it was just really awkward. I'm not a very social person, but those options are out there if you want them. And I would say probably, this is the last tip I can think of at the moment, and it's probably the strangest tip, but I've found that it's been very helpful whether I'm writing essays or I'm writing stories or I just need to think something through, is jump in the shower. Are you stuck in your story? Jump in the shower, and have a good think. Not only do you have that uninterrupted time where you don't have to worry about anything else to think about your story and where it's going or whatever you're stuck on, whatever you need to fix, but when you get out of the shower, you're nice and relaxed and refreshed and you are ready to jump down back at your computer and start going again. I know it's super random and super weird, but I've found that it has helped me out of so many situations. And believe me, I'm not a huge showerer, I'm not an everyday showerer, but when I'm stuck writing, I'm like, and this is my third shower of the day, because sometimes you just need that to get through. Those are all the tips and tricks that I could think of off the top of my head. If you have any questions or you can think of any more, feel free to pop them in the comment box below. I always do that because there might be someone out there who's looking for other advice. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button, and if you want to see some more, hit subscribe. This is video 5, which means there are 2 more coming. And if you haven't seen the rest in the series, feel free to pop back and check those out. And I will see you tomorrow for video number 6, where I talk about the story that I'm currently writing on and working on. And I read an excerpt from when I very first started writing it. And let me tell you, it's interesting. And of course I add my color commentary, because why not? But thanks for stopping by today. And like I said, I will see you tomorrow.